everyone, welcome back to Pears on a Pod. We've got a special edition for you today. We're going to be previewing the Aflw season that's coming up this weekend. We've got a very special guest, but before I get to her, I'm going to be introducing my mega head friend, Jack Hudson. Hello, Huddo.
Hey, mate. Very good to be back again and very keen for the W season.
Yeah, we're going to be absolutely fit and firing for this one. We've got a very special guest. It's young Alex Ballard who's joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Alex, Aflw season right around the corner. How excited are you?
Extremely excited. It's been a pretty long off season. I think we had about over 6 months off, and then pre-season. Yeah, it's just to finally get to games. I'm super stoked, super excited.
Has there been any expectations over pre-season? Obviously, last year, the first year, the inaugural year of Port Adelaide being in the Aflw, has there been any expectations risen from last year?
Well, we know we've put in the work, I think. So, yeah, I think internally expectations have risen for sure. We obviously don't want to put a number on the amount of games we want to win because that we don't want to limit ourselves. But I definitely would expect to see an improvement from last year. Obviously, last year wasn't ideal, just first season in the AFLW as a team, and a lot of us girls hadn't met each other before that season. So it was a tough one, but yeah, definitely this season we've bonded off the field and on the field. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. And I think hopefully that should reflect on field and our wins and losses.
And last season was quite crazy in the lead up because it was just so quick with expansion, and then with having another season the same year as another season.
Yeah.
What was it like this last season, like preparing for that, and then compared to, was it a bit more easier this season to get ready for it?
Yeah, I don't think, because last year was obviously my first year in the AFLW, so I don't think I realised how tough it actually was compared to this season. So we were pretty jam-packed with information and, yeah, just like lots of little bits of information that all of us had to learn because a lot of us were new. So compared to this season, it's been a lot more chill, and we could probably focus on, the more important things like bonding off field and game plan and stuff like that. And I think it's shown that the coaches had all of off season to really get the game plan clear and concise for us, and they've done that really well. So yeah, that's really shown. But yeah, this season has been a lot more just not relaxed because we've been working hard, but yeah, a lot more attention to detail.
Has there been something that you've focused on personally compared to your first season in the AFLW that you've brought into this year that you wanted to improve on and really tackle to make sure that you take that next step?
Yeah, I think one for me was probably leadership. I think I improved on it last year, but I really wanted to take that next step this year. And I was lucky enough to get voted in the emerging leaders group, which was pretty cool. And that was voted by the teammates, so it's felt pretty cool being nominated by them. So probably leadership on field and off field. So yeah, sort of started that on off season, try to organise outside catch ups and yeah, everything in between. But that's probably been the big one. I would say physically, probably my running and my strength. Probably I tried to focus on those two things in the off season and the pre-season, just because it was my first season AFLW, so I was probably a bit raw in those categories. But yeah, having another pre-season in the belt has really helped with those sort of things.
And we start with a showdown at Norwood.
Yep.
Fairly sure,
Yep.
is it? Yeah, and so that couldn't be any more enemy territory if possible for Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, are you looking forward to it?
I am. Yeah, I am a Sturt girl before Port as well, so that's even more enemy territory. And I've actually I've lost the grand final there, so I lost the Sturt grand final there, and then last year I also got stretchered off from Norwood Oval too. So I've had a bad history. So I'm really hoping to change that this weekend.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but I don't think that bad voodoo will continue this week. But yeah, sorry, I forgot what the initial question was. I've got a bit distracted.
That's all right. Just looking forward to the showdown. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So last year obviously wasn't the result we wanted. I think in hindsight, a lot of us were probably a bit overwhelmed by the occasion. It was such a big occasion, big crowd, and we knew how important it was for women's sport and women's footy, especially in South Australia. So, Yeah, and lots of us, that was our first year, and a couple of girls debuted in that game. So I think there was just lots of overwhelmed girls. But yeah, we've had another, obviously, year with each other. And yeah, I fully believe that we can match it to the Crows.
We talk about last year's showdown. Was it such an iconic moment for yourself personally and for women's sport in general? Just being there, playing the game itself. Obviously, the result didn't go the way anyone that was a Port Adelaide fan wanted, but I think the result was sort of a minor, minor thing that came out of it compared to how big of an impact that was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I personally, I was a Crow supporter growing up, so I would always watch all the showdowns and like just be in awe of all the crowds, and a lot of the games are super close, and they're like, it's like finals footy in the men's. So I was really excited to try and replicate that in the women's, and I think that rivalry is definitely there. None of us hate each other, but there's that definitely on-field rivalry between the two teams, and obviously, yeah, our result didn't reflect how we would have liked to play, but we'll be a lot more competitive this year for sure.
Is it weird growing up as a Crows fan, putting on a Port Adelaide jumper in a showdown?
Well, so I went for Crows, and then I started going for the Sun. So I kind of forgot about Crows before I got signed to Port. I did have a bit of a soft spot, but I think that's completely gone now. I don't really like them, which is so with that thing on the weekend with the point and post. I had a little bit of a chuckle to myself, which never would have happened. Love. Yeah, never would have happened probably 10 years ago, but nah, all respect to Crows fans. Anyway, yeah, it was a little bit weird, and I trained on with the Crows girls for a couple of years, so I knew a lot of them, and so that was a bit odd to then play against them. But yeah.
You mentioned the Suns. Obviously, your brother playing up there. How much sort of have you looked up to him to sort of give you that idea of like playing professional sport, especially for him moving state as well?
Yeah, no, it was, he's obviously been a huge inspiration to me. Like, obviously it helps also play in the same position. We're both in defenders, and we play in a similar way too. So I go to him for tips and little tricks. Not quite on-field stuff, but a lot of off-field, which isn't really spoken about much. Is just like, I remember last year I was a bit I guess just worried going into a new environment and meeting heaps of new people, and he really eased my nerves about that, because he did the same thing. Is probably in a scarier position moving state and going in an already established team. So yeah, I spoke to him closely there. I probably spoke to my oldest brother, Will, who's also a handy footballer, about footy more, surprisingly. But and obviously just seeing how hard he worked to get into like the AFL environment was a good inspiration for me. And I'd attribute a bit to where I am today to him. But I must say I'm a better kick than him. I like to claim, but
good.
Yeah, he doesn't take the kickouts, but and I like to rub that in his face. He's probably a better marker, so we're even.
How much of an impact, you mentioned off field and footy and stuff like that, but defending, does it run in the family, just being a defender? Because you're both pretty damn good defenders.
Yeah, I think so. We don't try to get the glory like the midfielders and forwards. I think we're just a bit like humble family. So, but yeah, I think also similarly, he's probably not. He'll say himself he's not the most muscly or the most athletically gifted person, and I'm probably pretty similar. So he goes up against some tough forwards, but I think he just uses his body in a smarter way. So, he was giving me tips about trying to do that. I obviously come up against some tall and strong girls. Just trying to use your body in a smarter, not harder way. That was one of his big tips in terms of defending. But we both just love the defending. We just love getting the job done.
And smiling because he's a defender when he plays as
well.
Yeah.
We're just unsung heroes. That's all it is.
Yeah. Defenders win premierships,
Thank you.
Not the ruck forwards.
No.
we're obviously coming into this year. Erin Phillips has become captain as well again for the second season. How much of an impact has she had on you, especially from the first year and then coming into the second season as well?
Yeah, hugely, especially in terms of leadership. As I said, I was trying to develop that. So she's the type of person that when she's not loud, she's pretty soft spoken, but when she talks, everybody listens and respects what she has to say. And she doesn't just have the experience of being at the Crows in the AFLW, but like also in all her basketball career as well. Like you respect what she says. So yeah, like hugely inspirational, and I think it sort of says that you don't have to be the loudest person on the track for you to be the leader. So yeah, I think that's what I've kind of taken from her, and she's looking in great shape. She's fitter than me, that's for sure, which is a bit sad, but yeah, she's had like no off-season surgeries, which I think she came into last year just maybe a bit sore, but she's looking really good this year. Probably fitter and stronger than ever. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how she goes.
Perfect. And do we want to do the quick fire?
Let's do it. Quick fire questions. Alex Ballard, this is going to test every bit of your brain because these are the most hard-hitting questions you'll ever experience in
I'm excited.
Media. All right, let's start. Your favorite TV show?
How I Met Your Mother.
Yes. And favorite character from that show?
Probably Ted. I'd say.
Ted.
Yeah. I like that. Favorite potato chip flavor?
Red Rock Deli, sweet chili and sour cream. Is it that one? Yeah, the standard. Yeah.
That's good. Go-to karaoke song?
Probably Style by Taylor Swift, who I'm seeing in February with Julia Teakle, who's also in the 14. So I'm heading over to Sydney to see that. So I'll be singing my guts out when that comes on.
Managed to get tickets. Well done.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, Teeks did all the hard work with that, so I just sat back and I took it.
Very well done. Very well done.
Go to Mario Kart character.
Oh, that's probably Luigi. I'm not a big Mario Kart girl. Sorry. Yeah.
No, we take Luigi.
Yeah.
And then finally, the most hardest question of them all. Your favorite shapes flavor?
Crimpies, chicken crimpies for sure.
Yes, Alex. Yes.
I reckon it's underrated. Everybody says pizza, everybody says barbecue, but chicken crimpies is superior. I will stand by that.
That has made my day. That is so good.
I'm glad you agree.
No, I'm a big crimpy man. Ant's big barbecue, so we bait this every episode.
Barbecue's second, so I don't know if that helps.
Okay. All right, fine. I'll accept that. But
yeah,
if you ain't first,
Port Adelaide needs to pick up their game, I think. Any other words, Huddo?
I do ask this, but I don't know how well we'll go because usually we have past players on. So I usually go with who's the easiest opponent you've played on?
I mean, I've probably only played on like 10 considering I've only been in the system for 1 year. No one really comes to mind. They're all pretty hard. I struggle against most. Imagine if I said Ash Saint or something.
That dear.
No,
that'd be really good.
No. She's very difficult to play against. But yeah, no one comes to mind. Sorry.
Nah, that's
throwing a teammate under the bus.
Yeah, that'd be good at training. Yeah, who's easy playing at training?
Yeah.
That's about it, Alex. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it, and all the best for the upcoming season. We look forward to you dominating down back once again.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.